Welcome to the Brightness at Dawn podcast, where we turn the page on yesterday and set our sights on today's opportunities, where we build off of yesterday's success or put its failures behind us and start over again. So let's take a pause, breathe deep, and let's talk about the stuff that really matters. I'm your anonymous host. No name, no face, just a voice holding space. This podcast is for anyone who's ever felt overwhelmed, alone, lost, or unsure. You're not alone here. I'll bring unfiltered conversations and fresh perspectives on mental health, emotional growth, and finding light in hard moments. I feel identity gets in the way of a message. That's why I chose to remain anonymous. I'm just a voice like yours. We're all navigating one thought at a time. So if you're ready to level up, if you're ready to find your purpose, I welcome you to Brightness at Dawn, a new day. Let's just jump into the episode, if you want to call it that. This is mostly going to be a behind the scenes look on my thought process on why I wanted to start podcasting. Basically, an insight to the method of my madness after much debate if I'm going to do this or not. And pretty much you're going to figure out soon enough what I mean by that. This is the episode I'm going to reference to people when they're like, well, what your podcast about? But I understand this is not going to be for everyone. And I'm cool with that. So strap in, because this is going to mostly be like a monologue type of episode. More structured ones where specific topics are coming. But this one is just giving you an insight to my thought process on why I wanted to do this, who my target audience is, and what I plan to bring to the table. So I'll start out by saying this. I started a mental health journey about 20 months ago. If you have ever battled depression, anxiety, stress, which I can't imagine many of us haven't. If you have dealt with loneliness, not being comfortable in your own skin, not being comfortable in silence, unresolved trauma, just trying to navigate this world and find your purpose, and you start doing shadow work, and you start figuring out and understanding your pain and where it comes from. And more importantly, how to heal that pain. When you recognize your patterns and what triggers you. When you learn to forgive those that wronged you. And more importantly, learn to forgive yourself. Because sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. When you learn how to let go of victim consciousness and not hold on to it like a badge of honor, it is the most liberating thing in the world. You want to shout it from the mountaintops. It's like seeing the Matrix code. You can't unsee it. And if you start doing this work and you go deep, you just want to just share that. Like sharing a good book. You're like, oh my God, I did this. It was great. And if you're someone that was like me, that's been battling a lot of these things for most of their adult life, most of their life, period. And I came from a generation where you didn't talk about your problems. You sucked it up and you kept it moving. You manned up. You took care of business. Don't let anybody know your business. You don't get into anybody's business. You don't let nobody know yours. Almost living in secrecy. You had to suffer in secrecy. You don't want anyone to know your weaknesses or your perceived weaknesses. And when you finally start to heal, like really learning how to heal, oh my God, it is exhilarating. You just exhale. It's like, my God, this is amazing. Why was I holding on to this for such a long time? So you want to share it. So then I said to myself, when I started going down this path and I started learning and finding all this content about this, I was like, okay, I want to pass the word along. So I decided I'm going to start a podcast. So I start recording it. I get all this equipment. I'm all gung-ho, all in. I spoke to 2 people that I'm close to, and I mentioned it to them, and they were like, good for you. I think you could do it. So last night, making the content is easy. The editing and all the other stuff, that's where it gets a little tough. So last night I go to bed late. I edit my clip, and I'm like, yes, I got it down pack. This is the one. Clean edit. I'm still working on the audio, but it's as good as it's got to be. I'm not trying to be perfectionist. But it was a little late. I was going to send it to a friend that I wanted them to listen to it over, that I talked to them about it. And they were like, I want your honest opinion. But since it was late, I was like, I'll do it in the morning. I get up this morning because I got a 9 to 5 and I'm just like taking care of business. And I was like, oh, before I send it, I said, let me listen to it again. And I'm listening. I'm like, yeah. Halfway through, I'm like, yeah, this is dog water. And all of a sudden, this greatness that I had last night, today, I'm like, this is crap. And I immediately start having my Gollum Smeagol moment. For those that don't understand that reference, you'll get it. Bro, what are you doing? This is trash. This is what you're going to do. You're going to put this out there with all that quality content that's out there. People that are higher qualified than you, that know what they're talking about. You, out of all people, are going to make this. This is what you're doing? You're wasting your time. You're going to let people know your business for that. No. This is good. It's good edit. Good message. It's good to go. No, it's not. You're just some dude rambling. No one cares. No one gives a crap. And it starts to set in on me. I'm starting to make a compelling case to myself. And I'm scratching my head and I'm like, okay, I'm contemplating. I'm like, maybe this is a bad idea. Who is this for? What's going on here? And I had to dumb it down. I had to like literally bring it down to the most basic level because I don't know if I was panicking. I don't know what's going on. The realization I'm putting this out there. And then it hit me. Exactly who this podcast is for. It's for me. I'm using this as a therapy session, a private therapy session. I'm trying to give back. That one person that's receptive to this type of information that could be beneficial to them. I watch a lot of content, especially in the spaces I've been going down this journey, leveling up, being a better version of myself every day, and continuing to learn because this is a continuing thing. And through all those content creators that I watch, sometimes they have a message that's amazing and sometimes not so much. I just keep moving. I just keep soaking in what services me. But through all that noise, I found one voice that really stuck out to me, that made a huge impact in my life. And I've watched so much stuff, but one was authentic and genuine and really was instrumental in my journey. I could be that for someone else. Someone that they can relate to, someone that can just be like, well, through my shared experiences and life experiences and things that I've learned. And it's just like you go to somebody and they recommend a book to you. This is an amazing book. This was a wonderful movie. This is a great bar. They serve food there that's amazing. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to share with you what worked for me. All these things that I mentioned, you don't need to have. These are all things that I suffered with and that I've healed. You don't need to have that. There are people that enjoy watching streamers, watching them play video games. They won't play the game themselves, but they'll watch someone else play a video game. I don't get that. That's not me. There are people who enjoy watching movies, and then there's people that enjoy watching reality TV. I'm not into reality TV. Some people can't get enough of it. There's an audience out there for everything. Everything doesn't have to be professional. I like to watch quality actors, well-written scripts. Some people just, it's not about the acting, it's about an experience. It's about a sneak peek into another person's life. It's like those people that love reading other people's journals, memoirs, diaries. I have no desire. I don't care. It doesn't impact me. But there's some people who just won't get enough of that, just to get an inside look on someone else's life or perspective. And once I rationalized like that for myself and brought it down to that basic level, then I was like, okay, I'm here to service one person alone, that person that wants to be receptive to this type of information. Someone that you can feel like, I can relate to that. You know, we live in a time where everything is about representation, right? And seeing someone that's similar to you or similar experiences makes it easier to relate. You can connect to that. So that's what I offer. A perspective that's maybe like your own. So that's what I'm here to do. for one person alone. And it's a win-win. I get to let some of this stuff out that I've been wanting to talk about, good and bad. In future episodes, I plan to have guest hosts and just have a conversation. And that's who my target audience is. And if that's you, and this is something that you think you could get behind, amazing. And if not, that's fine too. That's cool. I'm still gonna do what I'm doing because my goal is to pay it forward. And if I can help one person reach their potential, find their purpose through a shared experience, through a recommendation, then I did my job. I'm here to service one person, and that can't be that difficult. And along the way, I'm continuing to work on myself. I'm continuing to spread a word of positivity, and I'll feel good. Even as I'm just talking to the void, I believe that someone out there is going to receive that message just like I did. So that's what this podcast is about. No fancy bells or whistles, no high production value. Just some random guy sharing his life experiences, just trying to connect to that one other person that's like-minded, that can relate to you, that could understand you, who's just curious. If that's something that you're interested in, is something that you could get behind, welcome. Because I don't know where this is going to take me. This is a journey that I'm starting. I've had stuff that I was written. I had an episode that was completely done and ready to go. And things change. So I'm curious where this is going to take me. And as I continue to work on myself and level up, and every day plan to be a better version than I was yesterday, I know I have something to contribute to someone out there that could be helpful. So I thank you for listening. I thank you for believing in a weird process before I got here. I was like, wow, that was a lot. This guy's nutty. I guess I am. And I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with that. So I'll leave it right there. You got the basic gist of what I'm trying to do here. In future episodes, I'll break down some of the decisions, like wanting to remain anonymous, some of my backstory, and some of the things that I've gone through that have led me to this point. Things that I got to remind myself that are not unique to just myself. That regardless of race and backgrounds and where we grew up, that we're more alike than we care to think. Thank you for those that want to continue on this path with me and on this journey and in this process that I'm in, because it is a process in a world where most people go by unheard, unseen, and disconnected. That I'm just a voice. That I'm just a dude trying to figure it out just like you are. And hopefully, on my path to finding the person that I want to pay it forward to, that we learn a little bit about each other. That maybe through one of my stories, through one of my recommendations, it could be useful to someone out there. And in the future, I plan to maybe open phone lines or things of that nature, and maybe even get requests where someone can just be like, can you talk about this? And I'll be like, yeah, why not? I'll be that voice. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your time. You guys be good. You guys be safe. I'll catch you soon.